Donal, the last All-Ireland final back in 2018, you were obviously on the airwaves for ourselves, shouting and roaring and screaming on commentary duty. This time you're on the sideline, obviously a major difference. Which is more enjoyable, which is more nerve-wracking?
I don't know. I suppose on the radio you can let your emotion run loose, and try and get maybe whoever's at home involved in the whole thing. But I suppose on the sideline I was a small bit of a different role. You have to be kind of stone cold and trying to view the game and then just make sure that we're all ticking over nicely. And if there's any concerns or issues or anything I feel I can bring back to John on the sideline, we just go down and pass that on to him.
You've played with a couple of them, obviously. You've watched others grow from underage hurlers to All-Ireland winning hurlers in 2018 and gained so much more experience over the last couple of years. What has it been like this year working with this side and helping to get this side back to the big stage in Croke Park?
It was a big learning curve for me coming into this setup. They're probably into year 3, into year 4 nearly of this development of this bunch. So just to see them, I suppose the physique and the speed that they move at and the whole setup of training and everything. It took me a couple of weeks to get used to that. But I've played with a few of them, and they're the exact same guys personally, as in they're very driven and they want to do the best. And this young group that came in with them are complimenting them. So look, I suppose as a group you can't question what they're trying to do. It's just I suppose just to keep it hitting all Ireland semi-finals and finals as much as we can, and thank God we're there on Sunday week.
Obviously, the Limerick public get very carried away with any sporting team that's going well. We saw it in 2018, we saw it last year. Declan mentioned it there, obviously a bizarre kind of a build-up to an All-Ireland this year with behind closed doors, everyone's at home, the Christmas trees are going up. Has it suited this group to have maybe a quiet build into this final?
But yourself, Limerick takes off, great support, as does a lot of other counties. But I suppose we've been starved of these occasions for a long time, and just to get a taste for it again in 2018 was brilliant. So that would no doubt be there if we weren't in the current circumstance. But I think in general, and just not speaking for Limerick, I think all inter-county players would be absolutely delighted to play in the championship this year. And obviously the restrictions really start hitting home now as you get to the business end. But look, I think if they had a choice to play in Croke Park and in Ireland, in Croke or Sunday week.
Yeah, Declan. Just finally from me, Donal. I suppose back when you were calling that All Ireland in 2018, you called an awful lot of obviously Shane Dowling goals. I know you have a panel now and a great panel and plenty of finishers to come off the bench. But how much has he been missed this year in someone that's such a natural goal scorer coming off the bench when you maybe want to kill off the game?
Yeah, definitely. Look, Shane has been a revelation when he came on in 2018, and obviously that injury has forced him to retire. But yeah, he was one of those players, just a man for the big day, and you turn up with many important goals, none more than the All-Ireland final against Galway that year and the semi-final against Cork, that penalty. So, look,
Sorry, John, you're breaking up a small bit at the end of that answer.
For the next. Yeah, what I was saying is, look, obviously he's been a huge loss to Limerick in the goal scoring stakes, to have that ability to come in and to get a goal when we needed one, But obviously it's up to the lads coming in, is what I'm saying, the lads that have been introduced to take up that mantle. And we did create 20 goal scoring chances against Galway and just didn't take them, and that's something we need to work on for 2 weeks' time.
Thanks, Donal.
Donal. Hi, Owen Ryan here. Will Aaron Gillane be okay for next week, John?
Aaron didn't train on Tuesday. Obviously, he took a heavy hit there the weekend, so we're hoping possibly to get him reassessed on Friday night and see how he is. But at the moment, I would say 50-50 is my understanding as of today.
For the match?
Yes.
Okay. Was it bruised ribs or what was it exactly?
He took a heavy hit, and I think he had some breathing difficulties after, and I suppose our doctor deemed him necessary to head to the mater there, so they kept him overnight on precaution, so they were slightly concerned about him, but released the following day, which is great. So, and he came in to see us on Tuesday night, but obviously didn't train, so hopefully we'll know more towards the weekend.
Donal, just another question on Aaron as well. His hand, one of his fingers seemed to be heavily bandaged. Did he re-break it after breaking it during that club window?
He did. He went for an operation. It was actually not as bad as first feared. It was a ligament injury, as far as I know, and I suppose he possibly should have taken a couple of weeks to leave that recover. But he really wanted to get his fitness and get his hurling back as quick as possible, and he just basically played through the pain barrier. So yeah, he is playing with that slight finger strapped or whatever, but no tougher man than himself.
And I suppose that in itself, he's the sort of guy who'll want to play even if he's not 100%, given the player he is.
Yeah, he is. He had a hamstring injury. You can't escape from them either early on in the season, and I think he made this miraculous recovery from it, which is a great sign of him. He does take a lot of punishment inside the edge of the square, so he's well able to mind himself too, which is great.
Yeah, and the form of Limerick at the moment, maybe not even, obviously not scoring the goals you'd want, but the form in general, do you think it's where it needs to be, or can it jump up a bit more?
That you go, yeah, that's exactly what we're looking for, and that's what the players are looking for. And then there's been other times in games where we haven't maybe drilled home that when we've been up that 4 or 5 points just to finish it off. So plenty to work on, but at the same time, I would say we're after 4 really tough championship games, in different conditions, and thank God we've come out the right side of them. So it's a good sign of the team, maybe, that we're still expecting more, but we are winning the game.
And how well do you think Limerick and Waterford know each other now after the Munster final? You both have loads of footage to look at.
Yeah, too much maybe, It's important, I suppose, that maybe you don't. Yes, we do our analysis, and Waterford will, and you have to concentrate on yourself a lot as well. But I think actually that Munster final, it was very tactical, and I suppose we got really to see up close that Waterford are all that has been spoken about them, and since fast, energetic, a game plan that they're all really buying into, and I suppose it opened everyone's eyes in Croke Park last Saturday night when they did come back from, I think it was 9 or 10 points even down at one stage, when it was 13 points overall. So we know their threats, and it's just something that we will work on over the next 2 weeks, but obviously try to impose our game plan as well.
Donal, there's not going to be any fans there, obviously, but you are allowed now to bring the full squad back into Croke Park. How much of a boost for you as a manager is that to have those extra players with you and a decent-sized group to kind of travel up on the day?
Yeah, I've heard John say this on numerous occasions. It's very important. We have 10 guys that could not come into Croke Park last weekend, and a lot of them are very close to breaking into that 26th, and it's a horses for courses situation, and there's been, a bit of a swing there in that panel of 26 that we pick, and there's some going in and out. So for them not to be involved in match day, it's hard, it does take the glass off a victory, or even today, the Munster final there, it's tough. But just to get them up there, especially the younger lads, maybe that aren't breaking into that 26 at the moment, to have them there for the game day experience is important as well.
And listen, just talking about going up a gear in performance levels, is goals maybe the one thing missing from this team now that you'd be looking for?
It possibly is one, we should be taking maybe a couple of more goal chances. Yes, we seem to create a lot more than we have been against Galway. We could have had maybe 2 anyway, if speaking personally. But it's something. But there's other things, we hit some terrible wides against Galway, and a lot of them we were actually doing the hard work and creating that concentration and hitting that score. Didn't come off when we were up that 4 or 5 points, so that's something that we really need to nail for the next day, or else we'll pay the price against Waterford.
And listen, finally, just for me, have the hurlers been left in just a bit of an awkward situation with regards to yesterday, with the ladies having to move from the All-Ireland semi-final? Could that have been avoided, that situation?
To be honest, I look from the management's perspective and players, it's something really that was outside of our control. All we do was get over an All-Ireland semi-final and the pitch was there. I think, to be honest, there's a lot made of it. I can understand the frustrations of Cork having to go to Parnell Park, but look, it's done and dusted, and unfortunately it's something that we didn't have any control of.
Thanks.
Lads are actually like.
All right, lads, that's we'll switch to the papers now for 15 minutes. I think